Hi, I'm Kirsten Murphy. I've had a number of people ask me about what my experience with the keto lifestyle is, and rather than repeat it over and over, I thought it might be easiest just to do a quick little recording so that I can share this far and wide. And if you find this useful, that perhaps you can share with others as well. I've been drinking Keto OS Max supplements for just over a year, since April 2017. And the reason I did that is because I was diagnosed with skin cancer a little over 2 years ago. I actually had a rare form of skin cancer called a desmoplastic melanoma that was right on the tip of my ear. And I ended up with some pretty radical surgery. I now have a funny little pixie ear where that skin cancer and the surrounding tissue was removed. So one of the recommended treatments after I had that surgery was to have radiation treatment. And as you can imagine, I had deep concern about having radiation so close to my brain. So that's when I delved into what other things I could do to ensure my health and ensure that I didn't have metastasis or recurrence of the skin cancer or another form of cancer somewhere else in my body. So I really delved into the research, and the one thing that kept coming up time and time again was the ketogenic diet and how that cancer cells thrive on sugar and glucose. So as a result, I dived straight into the ketogenic diet and did it very strictly. I had a very good reason, health reason, to pursue that, obviously. But what I found was that it's actually pretty restrictive socially. You're very strict in terms of checking those macronutrients and your percentages of fats versus proteins versus carbohydrates. I also found, because at that point I was doing CrossFit and masters competitions in CrossFit, and I found that the ketogenic diet didn't quite fuel my needs, that I was needing some carbohydrate to help with the recovery of the degree of training I was doing. So anyway, I followed the ketogenic diet strictly for about 6 months. It was then around that sort of time that I started hearing about the ketone supplements. And that's when I thought, well, okay, maybe here is something that I could use that will help keep me in ketosis, which is literally just a state of having elevated ketones in your body, and your body will use those as a fuel source. So perhaps these ketone supplements is something that can help me stay in ketosis and keep healthy. So I then, of course, me being the sports scientist I am, overanalyzed, did all my due diligence, did a heap of research, and finally in the end went, you know what, I think I just actually have to try this for myself. So it was April 2017 that I first started drinking ketones. Now that was a good 14 months after I had my surgery on my ear. So you can see I don't jump into things lightly. But I did my due diligence. Obviously, I'm very aware of any products or anything I put in my body, having had that skin cancer scare previously. So what I found was that, yes, the ketones actually gave me a huge increase in energy. They definitely sustain my workouts. I feel like I can now push a little bit harder. I can get 1 or 2 more reps in more endurance type activities. I definitely have a lot more go and lasting power. Perhaps the biggest surprise for me in terms of that performance or sport performance element was the recovery. So I no longer feel anywhere near as sore, which for those who do CrossFit will understand that you're in a perpetual state of soreness or DOMS, delayed onset of muscle soreness. So I've definitely had a much decreased level of soreness since taking the ketones. So I think it's really helped with my recovery. And you also have to understand I'm 46 now, so I'm still trying to keep up with the girls half my age. So I'm nowhere near there, but it certainly helps me recover and keep up with them to some degree. And then but perhaps one of the most surprising things, and I really had no expectation or prior knowledge of this happening, But I found my first month after drinking ketones that I didn't have any PMS or premenstrual symptoms. I've lived my whole life having had terrible bloating, breast tenderness, just general disengagement of my core as well. So I would always avoid doing heavy lifting or heavy weights leading into in those first couple of days of my period. So I was really surprised in the first month. My period turned up and I was like, wow, I didn't expect that to come, literally because I didn't have any of those symptoms beforehand. And that has actually remained true since I've been drinking the ketones. So I have to say that from a female point of view, and sorry guys if you don't want to know all those details, but from a female point of view, you'll understand that that's a pretty nice thing not to have to deal with PMS every month of your life. So for that reason, I'll probably continue drinking ketones for the rest of my life. Anyway, that's my story. I would love if there's anything in there that you think could help you or help any of your friends or family. Please forward this video onto them, and I hope it helps in some shape or form. Thanks.